create a YouTube account, which is absolutely free. Okay, we're going to be learning how to shoot a virtual tour of our properties. Okay, now this can work in two different ways. It'll either you can actually shoot real video, okay, or you can take pictures. Okay, and I'll explain the differences and what I do myself. Also, we're going to be learning how to edit that video using Windows Movie Maker, or if you're on a Mac, which most of you probably aren't, but you'll be using iMovie. They're very similar, very easy to do on either of those. Once we're all done with shooting the video, editing it, we'll be uploading it back into YouTube, okay? And then we'll be making a property website for this individual listing. So either you'll have a private website just for this one listing, or you can be a little bit more robust like myself and have your own website already pre-built, which you can create an entire new page just for that one listing. So either way, you'll be able to walk out of here today, even if you don't have a website, even if you don't have a YouTube account, learning how to do all this and get everything going today, okay? So any questions that you guys may have that are related to the seminar as we're going through, just please kind of blurt it out or let me know that you have a question with what's going on right now. Most of the time I'll be answering questions at the very end, or I'll answer your question later on during the seminar. So without further ado, can we close that door now? Sorry. And for today's class, should I turn the lights off? All right. Somebody's coming in. Okay, so like I said, first things that we're going to be doing is creating a YouTube account. We're going to be shooting the virtual tour, creating the video, uploading to YouTube, and creating a property page on our website with the virtual tour. Okay, having all these things is going to give us one result. It's going to put our website #1 in Google search. Now, if you don't have a website, you can use a company called Postlets, which I'll get to a little bit later on, that will give you the same effect. Now, just to give you an example, this is actual Google shot of a listing that we have that's on our website. It's a duplex with 2 separate addresses on the property. You type in the address, and what shows up #1? You guys see that? Not really, right? Either way, the first thing that's always usually going to pop up will be YouTube. The second thing that'll pop up will be your website. Okay, and then everything after that. If you guys can't see it, it's Trulia, RedFin, Zillow, all those different type of bigger companies that are out there. Okay, so the nice thing about this is you can take this back to your listing presentation and say, dear Mr. and Mrs. Seller, just like every other realtor that's out there, I'm going to door knock and canvass the area and put just listed flyers in the area. I'm going to do open houses on your property. I'm also going to put a for sale sign on your property. I'm going to contact my database and do all this stuff that every other realtor does. But the other thing that I'm going to be able to add to the table is I'm going to put your property #1 in Google search. Now, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, when you look for anything, where do you go to find it? You go to Google. So don't you think it's in your best interest for me as your real estate agent to be able to get found #1 in Google placement for your listing? Do you think that's going to help you sell your property? They're going to answer yes. Okay. If they don't, then they're 200 years old. But most of us, we're always going to Google, or we're going to some type of search engine to find product. Homes are the exact same thing. And you don't want potential buyers going to Realtor.com, going to Zillow to find you. Okay. You'll end up getting a lead that's filtered into the office, and you'll probably end up losing that lead. Okay, so you won't be able to. This will increase your chances for double ending it, as well as increase your chances of being able to get a listing at that listing table. Okay, because I can guarantee this is something that maybe 1% of the realtors out there can actually achieve. I know I'm one of them. So, and by the time you guys are done with this class today, you'll be in the same boat. Just a little bit of a disclaimer as we're doing this, your website or your whatever page that you make for this is only going to be on the top of the search results for a few months. Okay, the way search engine works is a ton of different things, but basically the reason why you won't always be in the top of the search results is Realtor.com, Zillow, Trulia, all those other websites have one thing that you don't have. millions of visitors hitting their website every single month. So eventually you will get beat out. But for the first 2 or 3 months, you'll be showing number one on the search results. And that's all you need. Because you know within the first 2 or 3 weeks if you're going to sell that property or you're not. It's just a fact. Okay? So don't get discouraged when you get beat out. It's just something you can take to the table right away, get it signed, show them the proof that it's actually being done, and just makes you look that much more more of a powerful agent. And if you don't believe me, go to our website, look up property addresses, and type them in Google, the property address, and you'll see exactly how it all works out. Okay. Another thing that you guys are going to want to be doing today is taking a lot of notes, because there's going to be a lot of information that we'll be covering today. So just make sure to get all the notes. We are recording this webinar, so you'll be able to see it, but some of the stuff I'll actually be grabbing. I forgot my camera, but I'll be showing you basically how to shoot the video as well, which isn't actually on the webinar. I'll have to be talking a little bit more for that one. So creating a YouTube account, you're just simply going to go to youtube.com. On the top right, it'll say create account. If you don't already have an account, you'll have to do that. If you have any type of Google account, if you have Gmail, for instance, you already have a YouTube account. Okay, you just sign in with that. It'll automatically convert it to YouTube, and you're all set. Okay. So if you didn't have it, that's all the information it's going to ask for. Okay. Next is shooting your virtual tour. Like I said, there's 2 ways you can do this. One, you can actually record video as you walk through the property to make a true virtual tour. Hard. Okay, I've done it. It's very hard, and I'll explain why. Or 2, you can simply take pictures of the property, which is much easier. So you're creating more of a slideshow, but it's the same effect. Okay, it's going to render the same result. It's going to get you the same result in Google search, which we're trying to do. And to the end buyer, it's still to them, it still looks like a virtual tour. There's going to be music. There'll be 2 shots at least of every room, so it'll seem like they're actually going through the property, seeing it in detail. Okay. Like I said, both will create a great video, except one will be much less time-consuming and still will render the same result. So if you want to go the extra step, or you feel that video is just your thing, go ahead and do it. You'll see how much work it is. It does look a little bit more, not professional, it does look a little bit more elegant, but it does require much more work and much more video editing. So highly recommend for everyone. And this is what I do. I just take 2 shots of every room when I make my videos. Okay. Oops, let me play this. So shooting actual video, in case you are brave enough and want to jump off into that boat, make sure to record. Actually, it shouldn't say minimum, it should say a maximum of 720 pixels, which is high definition, but on a smaller scale. If you record in 1080p, the problem that you'll end up having is that it's not viewable on the iPhone. Okay, any mobile device, it won't be able to get seen on it. So a lot of us, when we're searching for stuff, buyers are right in front of a property, they type in the address. You want them to be able to view everything right from their phone, not having to go back home and look it up later on. Okay, if you can close them right there, you want to close them right there. Okay, so recording at a maximum of 720 pixels per square inch. Okay. Yeah, sorry, it's not minimum, it's maximum. I made a mistake on that. Can you get it? Okay. The next, you will want to have a camera stabilizer. Now, most of us will have a camera where you have like the lanyard around your neck, the neck brace type deal. You can use that and hold it tight so that there's less vibration as you're walking through the property. That's why I said video is very hard to shoot, because you actually have to walk through the property, and each step you take counts. You know, you'll hit the bump, so it's much easier to shoot the pictures. But just in case, make sure all the windows in the property are open, as well all the lights turned on. The key to video, and even pictures, but more so video, is tons of light. Okay, if you don't have a lot of light, it's going to look shadowed, it's going to look dark, it's not going to look good. Okay, so you need to have a ton of light on your properties. Open all doors to make walking easier as you're going through the property. You don't want to be recording and having to open a door. Okay, make sure everything's open. So kind of stage your property before you do it. Okay, make home as clean as possible. You know, we all know that most of our listings are going to be short sales, or they might be REOs if you're lucky to have an REO account, and they might not be the cleanest, but just try to pick it up as best you can. So, I mean, really think about it. If you're a buyer looking at this house and there's clothes everywhere and dishes in the sink and dirt on the floor. Are you really going to be interested in taking a second look at that home, them calling you? Probably not. So make it as cleanly as possible to the best that you can do it. So if you are able to see my screen again, I just rebooted this seminar. Okay, everything, you can hear me good. As the screen reloaded, you should be able to, can you see the Windows Movie Maker tool? Right here, the black spot on the screen, you can see that? Okay, perfect. Thank you, Kathy. All right, sorry about that, guys. So back over to here. So this is going to be your dashboard of your video editing software. So if you are putting video or you're going to be putting pictures, either are going to be the same. Right here in the top left-hand corner, it's going to say Add Videos or Add Photos. Okay, so click on that button. Now, I've already had my picture saved, so if you hook up your camera, you already know where they're going to be. Okay, just for this example, I'm going to use just the stock photos from Windows. But you'll select all the photos that you do want or the video that you want. You'll click Open, and it'll automatically populate right into your timeline. Okay, this is referred to as a timeline for your video. Now, same thing with iMovie. Windows Movie Maker has what are called themes. Okay, so you can pick a different theme of how the movie is going to start. So you can have it start with that transition. You can have it start with this transition. However you want your video to look is completely up to you. But for now, for this purpose, I'll just click on Contemporary. And we'll add music a little bit later on. But now all of my videos are done, and you can see the slides as we're walking through it of how you can label everything. Okay. So just makes your video look a little bit more professional than just slide after slide after slide. You want a small transition, just like you've seen, to make it look a little bit more elegant. Okay. Now you can also add titles and captions to each particular slide. So add a title here so you can enter text. How wonderful. So what's probably the first thing you're going to want to say? No. Nope. Nope. See this property today, call your number, okay? That's the first thing you want them to see. As soon as they hit it, you want them to prompt to call you, okay? Like I said, we're doing this for lead generation, not to give them information, okay? So see this property today, call John at 555-55555, okay, whatever, okay? You want that to be their number one thing, that's the first thing that's seen, okay? If not, and they're waiting until the end, they may not watch the whole video, they might not like it or whatever, but you want them to automatically be prompted to call you, okay? So your next slide, now it could be your living room, or, beautiful kitchen, remodeled kitchen, brand new hardwood floors, granite countertops, stainless steel sink, all new Kenmore appliances. Then you can start putting things like that. And as you're going through your video, I would say at about every 30 to 45 seconds, you want to have the same message again. To see this property today, call this number. You have to, kind of like subliminal messaging. Hey, call me, call me, call me. That's what you want them to do. Okay, this is you talking on the phone without being on the phone. So if you're not asking for them to come in for an appointment, they're not going to come in for an appointment. If you're not asking them to call you, they're not going to call you. Okay, you have to tell people what to do in order to get the result. Make sense? Okay. Then at the very end, for those of us who have egos, you can put directed by, Jonathon Villaescusa, starring Jonathon Villaescusa, film produced by Jonathon Villaescusa, or whatever you want to do. Inflate your ego a little bit. Completely up to you. Or you can put additional information like where your office is located, how different ways they can contact you. So you can be creative with your video. You just want to make sure you're labeling the property the correct way, pointing out key features like new stainless steel appliances, stainless steel sinks, recently renovated, priced thousands under market value. That is one thing that you usually don't want to put actually on this, is don't put the price. If you can, put price negotiable, priced thousands under market value, seller willing to negotiate. Those are the words you want to use for pricing. Because if people know that the price is too high or whatever, they're not going to call you. Okay, and if they hear keywords like price is negotiable or anything like that, which it is in real estate, last time I checked, everything is up for negotiations. So that's what you want to put, okay? Because it's going to prompt that buyer, oh, I can get a deal on the house. Let me give them a call. Oh, the seller's willing to work with me. Let me give them a call. That's what you want to put, okay? So be creative. Think like a buyer, okay? Don't think like a real estate agent. Think like a buyer. Use the words you want to hear, okay? That's how you're going to get better ROI out of all this. Okay, so good with titles and transitions on this? Okay, perfect. Yes?
Do you recommend adding your email address? Sometimes I'm asking, sometimes I'll email you instead of calling you.
Correct. Okay, so for those of you on the webinar, the question was asked, should you put your email address? The answer is yes. Okay, and it's also safe. If you're putting it on the video, the person that is getting the email actually has to be watching the video. So it's not going to be some robot picking up your email and adding it to some spam list. Okay, it's safe to do it that way. Okay. Also, I don't recommend putting your office phone number on here. Put your cell phone. Okay. Last time I checked, you want leads directed to you, not to your office. Okay. Unless you're the owner, then either way. So good with all this part? Okay. So the next, we're going to be adding music. Now, a lot of you are going to say, "Oh no, adding music is going to be too hard." So what you can do, a lot of us have iTunes, or we have some type of music like that. We have CDs. We can put the music onto our computer. All you need to do is have it in an MP3 format, which last time I checked, everything is in an MP3 format. Is there anyone? Frank, can you get some of these people some chairs that just walked in? So you'll go add music. There's add music, okay. Add music to project. Now I don't really have any music, or let me see if I have some stock music on here. I do, so I'll open that and put that on there. So now I have music for my video. Okay, you need to have music for your video. Okay, I don't recommend talking on your video and saying, you know, this is a beautiful house. I mean, unless you spoke, you know, like what's his name that always does narration? The black man. No, it's so famous too.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah. Morgan Freeman. Unless you can talk like Morgan Freeman, I don't recommend doing your own narration. Put it in text. It's going to make it much easier. And the nice thing about music is it creates a nice upbeat tune. People are going to be more inclined to watch the full video, and it puts them in a more cheerful mood, so they'll probably be more likely to call you. Okay, it's just little things like this that are going to help you get that lead. Okay, so what type of music should you use? I don't recommend rap or rock and roll or anything like that, unless it's for, you know, Riverside. Maybe that will work, but you know, usually you just want to put some classical jazz, something like that, very upbeat, very professional. You know, if Nordstrom would play it, that's probably what I would recommend using, is something like that. Maybe some pianos or whatever, anything like that. Okay. So good with music. Okay. Now this part you're going to want to take a little bit of notes on. You're going to want to save movie, and you're going to create custom setting. Now I've already created the custom setting, but like I said, you want to record in a maximum of 720 pixels per square inch, 720p high definition. Now it's automatically actually going to be set for this, but you still have to create the setting. So it's going to be 1280 pixels on the width. The height's going to be 720 pixels. Your bit rate will be 8,000 kilobytes per second. That's how fast the video is loading itself, basically. And 30 frames per second is how many slides it's shooting per second. The human eye, just a little bit of some tricks for you, some tip. The human eye can only catch 30 frames per second. So anything higher than this, you're not going to be able to notice it. So you don't need to add more to it, because the human eye can't see it. Okay?
Hold on. What was the last number on your height?
8,000 kilobytes per second. That's how fast, basically, it can load. It's also going to determine the size of your video, so you want to have smaller size videos so they load quicker. So this is going to be your most optimal setting for viewing on all platforms: iPhones, Androids, iPads, computers, TVs, and it's still going to look very good. It's not going to look grainy or anything like that. Let me just stay confirmed over here that we're okay. Morgan Freeman, how they put that. Okay, so we're good with this part? Got this all down? Okay, so what you'll want to do after this is create a name for it. So you can put virtual tour setting or whatever you want to name it. And then go ahead and click save once you're done. I already have it saved, so I don't have to do that, but that's what you'll do as soon as you're done. So after you have your settings saved, you'll go back to save movie. Voila, there's your beautiful format. You'll export it, and depending on how new or old your computer is going to determine how long it takes to export this video. On mine, it usually takes around 20 to 30 minutes to make a video. On yours, it could take 3 or 4 hours. It just depends, okay, on how fast or old your computer is. So bear with it. I recommend if you have an older computer or slower computer, do it when you leave so you can just leave your computer on and it can do its thing while you're sleeping, okay, so you don't have to worry about it. After you're done, you would click Save as that. It automatically export it, start doing its thing, okay. So we're all good with this part? Did it seem simple enough so far? Okay. So the other thing with video, if you recorded video, is videos are going to record sound. Okay. So you would actually have to come back in here and mute your clip. If I had video, I'd be able to do it. But you'd be able to right-click on that and mute the audio from that clip, and then add another music clip to your video that you're making. So that's why I said it makes it more complicated. Shooting the pictures makes it much more simple. Okay. Now let's go back to the presentation. Any questions before I move on again? Am I really that on point with this? It's that step by step? I get some nods. Well, the thing with video is if you're walking, you're going to see that little bump. That's why I don't recommend doing it. Now there's software that you can use that will eliminate that, but now you're talking about buying real formatting software for video, which is going to run you a few $100s, maybe even a few thousand. It's just much more cost effective to take a picture because you can take a still picture and not have any blur in it. You know, it's just much easier. So the next slide is going to be uploading to YouTube. So after we're all done, we've taken all of the photos, or we shot the video, we've edited our video, we've added our captions, titles, and inflated our ego a little bit, put some nice music in the background, and we're all jamming. Now we're going to be uploading our video into YouTube. So go to youtube.com again. Make sure you're signed in. Click on Upload. It's right next to my big red arrow. Okay. YouTube Continue. That's going to say Select Files from your computer. So you'll select a file from your computer, and it will automatically upload into it. Now what you'll want to, I'm jumping back over to the live demonstration part of this again, since it was a little bit too much to take in. There are a few new options, and YouTube's been kind of changing things around quite a bit with the way that their formatting is done on their end. But basically, it's going to look the same as this as soon as you're done uploading it. You're going to want to create a title. Now, I never recommend putting the home address of the property on the internet, but in order for you to be able to get found in Google, what's the one thing you have to give up? The property address. Okay, nobody's going to find an address if you don't have it listed. So unfortunately, you have to put the complete full address. So what I mean by complete, you're going to put 123 Spooner Street and spell out street. Don't put ST. Okay. California, you can use the zip, just the initials, because nobody's going to type out California. You're going to put the full city name, Norwalk, and you're also going to put the zip code. The reason you want to do this is people may not put city, may not put state, may not put the zip code, may not spell street out all the way, or they may spell street out all the way. And all these different variations you want to be able to cover underneath the umbrella. Okay? So just to give you an example, I'll go to my website really quickly. And just to give you an example, this is an older listing. So if I type it in Google, the full property address, 4804 Hub Street, Los Angeles, California, 90042, and I put enter, you can see everything in bold is what's been noted on that property, what Google actually picked up, okay, or what I'm actually searching for. So that north is not in bold. Google didn't recognize it as part of my search, okay, but here you can see. So RedFin and Zillow beat me out a little bit. My YouTube video is the #1 on YouTube, so I'm still 3rd in the search results, which by all means is not bad at all. Believe me, that's not an easy task to do. Trulia is there, and then I'm still on the first page on the 5th result on our website. So I'm still in 2 spots on the first page, which is not bad after already a few months of being listed. Okay. So you always want to make sure to put the right thing. So the reason I say that is, say I take out all this. Okay, I'm still going to be able to get found. Now, I'm not getting as many search results, but there's RedFin, Trulia, Zillow, Realtor.com, and Excellence Duo. Our website's still on the top search results. So all these different variations will pop, they'll search for. If you don't have the complete term, you're not going to be able to get found for it. Okay? It's like if you're trying to find your name and you don't put your last name. Nobody's going to find you, right? There's too many Johns, there's too many Renees, there's too many everyone. So you have to be able to put the whole thing on there for them to find you. Now, good with that part? Understand that a little bit? Okay. So back over to the description. Again, because we're doing this for search engine optimization, you need to put that property address back in the description. Okay, just like I put here, Excellence Duo Radio Week 2, Week 2 Excellence Duo Radio. So all the keywords are in there. So they don't always have to be in the exact same phrase, but as long as the words are in there, it's still going to get found. Okay. The way search engine works is the more keywords, the more relevant content, the higher in the search results you come up. Okay, so you need to have all these things. Okay, when you're talking about the property, make sure to talk nice things about it. Recently renovated, or properties torn down, perfect investor home for rehab, flip, whatever the case may be. Put it in the right words. Okay, make sure to put your contact information on there again. This spot you may not want to put your email address because it is going to be displayed publicly on YouTube, so it could be caught by one of those spam bots, and you could be put on one of those horrendous emailing lists. Okay, so you may not want to put it there. Okay, nice thing about YouTube is if they comment on your video, you automatically get a notification, or if they want more information, they can message you. You can also put your phone number on here as well. Your phone number is also in the video, so there's no reason for them not to be able to get in contact with you, correct? All right. Now, the other nice thing about video is YouTube is owned by Google, which is very nice, but you can also add keyword tags to the video. Now, since YouTube is basically Google, this is why it works so well at climbing to the search results, because Google owns it. Okay, so of course they're going to boost their own content because they need eyes on their content. Okay, that's why they get paid so much with ads and all that. So what you want to do is you're going to want to put your name. So if anyone searches for your name, your properties will still show up. You're also going to want to put your firm name. So Excellence Real Estate, Centerpoint Real Estate, Keller Williams, Century 21. Because if people type those things, it's also going to work based off of their geographic location. So if they're searching for Century 21 in Norwalk, and lo and behold, you're the only Century 21 agent doing this stuff in Norwalk, you're going to be on the top of the search results. So don't you want that traffic? Yes, you do. Okay. So also put all these key things in there. You're also going to want to put your website domain name. Okay. You want to get your domain name, higher traffic, higher search results. Okay.
That's in the tag.
That's in the tags. Yes. These are keyword tags because Google cannot watch your video and analyze it. So we're basically telling Google or telling YouTube, this is what my video is. My video is Jonathon Villaescusa. My video is Excellence Real Estate. My video is virtual tour of this property address. This video is real estate. This video is Southern California. All that stuff. Okay. Everything that is related to that video is what you want to put. So on this one, that's actually our radio show. So it's the Excellence Duo is what we call a radio show. Jonathon Villaescusa, Frank Amador, Aaron M. Sanchez, Excellence Real Estate, Luis Uribe, our lender, and then excellenceduo.com, and real estate is another generic term. So you can put quite a bit of key terms in there. You're limited to how many you can put, so be creative in the way you're doing it. Be everything you can be on that, but you want to hit all the main ones. So your name, firm name, property address, and your website, number one. Okay, on all of them. Real estate could be another one that you can add to it if you have room for it. Okay. Once you're done, you're going to want to always make sure to have your privacy settings set to public. You don't want this to be private. That doesn't want to make any sense. Okay. Also, category really doesn't matter too much because there's no virtual tour or real estate category just yet. So I put it under news and politics, or sometimes I put people and blogs. There's no real good subcategory for this. Okay, so use whatever one you want. I kind of just throw them all over. Sometimes I put it in entertainment. It just depends. Okay. The next tab that you can also add is monetization. Now, if you want to monetize your ads, you can. It's just going to put ads over your video so you can make money. It's not going to make you any money, but you can make it seem like you're a top placer in Google and might work a little bit better with potential buyers or sellers. You might think that they're actually going to get more views out of it because Google's placing ads on your video. Okay, so if you do that, Google will place you a little bit higher in their search results because they can make money off your video. Okay, so just something to take into consideration. If you're getting a lot of hits, I would, because they will place you a little bit higher. Like in my YouTube account, I probably have maybe about 15,000 views on videos now, so they're going to place me a little bit higher. So it could work out. It's not. I don't think it's like a huge beneficial factor, but it could help you out if you are getting a lot of hits. Okay. Advanced settings. These are just things that you can set for yourself. So allow comments. I put all. Anyone can put a comment. Users can vote. Users can put ratings. All this stuff is completely up to you on the way you want to be able to do it. You also want to be able to enable enable embedding. This is where you're going to be able to take this code from YouTube and put it on your website so people can watch this video directly from your website. They don't have to go back to YouTube. You know, YouTube does a great job of getting us the search results, but we want all our search results funneling back to our website. Okay, and I'll explain how this all works, how it all ties together at the very end. So once you're all done with that, you can just go ahead and click on Save Changes. There's also other things that you can do that YouTube has just kind of released. You can also do enhancements. So I'm going to lead page. And you can do extra trimming in here. The nice thing about it is you can do effects. So the one that looks a little bit nicer, you can see the different effects, is Lomo-ish, is the one I've applied. It just makes the colors look a little bit more like pop art, so it makes it stand out just a little bit more. So you can see the difference. The one on the left is the original. It looks a little more gray, kind of bland, and the one on the right looks much more vibrant, much more color. So not much, but it's just going to give your video that little extra touch that makes it a little more professional. Okay, like I said, you can use whatever one you want. That's just the one that I'm using that makes it pop out just a little bit more. Okay, as soon as you're done, you click Save. Okay, good with that? Perfect. So now, make sure I'm still on point with our meeting viewers. It's right here. I'm gone again. Okay, so hang on one second. I don't know what's going on with this. I'll refresh this. Hang on for a second, guys, on the webinar.
Jonathon, just to let you know, we did another webinar yesterday with the same meeting burner, and we lost vocal, everything.
I'll have to contact them again today. Maybe I'll have to switch. Okay, can you guys see this again today? Or can you see this now? Sorry, I should say. Anyone on the chat, if you could just... Okay, perfect. So you can see my mouse moving. And I'll put up... okay. So I'll come back over to the YouTube section again. This is where, like I said, where you could change the effect of it, adding a little bit more color to it. Let's go to our slideshow again. YouTube continued. Okay, now creating a property page on website with virtual tour. How many of you here on the webinar have a website already? Don't all raise your hands at once. Okay, one of you. Okay. You started yours. Okay, being built. Nice excuse. No, I'm just kidding. Yes. Okay, I'm not familiar with Listing Book, but that is a website. If it gives you the option to be able to put your virtual tour in there, is what you want. Now, most of us, like we just saw, don't have websites. So a great website to use that's absolutely free is postlets.com. Post and then the word lets.com. Absolutely free. It'll create a complete property website for that individual listing. Keep in mind that you're sending all your traffic to this company called Postlets now. And the reason that we're doing this is we want our website to show #1 in the search results. So this will work in the meantime as a crutch, but I highly recommend at least going to WordPress.com, starting your own free blog there, and getting something going at least in the works. Okay. If you can afford to get your own privately hosted blog, which is a website, it's the same thing. I recommend you can go to GoDaddy, which is very simple. I think it's $5 a month, $10 for your domain name. So it's not going to cost you very much to have your own website, and you can do whatever you want to it. Okay. And I also do the classes here on how to construct your website from scratch, and it's very simple with WordPress, okay, and how to maintain it and do all that. So that's another part of this. I'll kind of briefly touch on it just so you can see. what it looks like. And let me minimize this again. So I'm still got you guys, and none of you are lost yet still. Just want to make sure. Sorry, I'm kind of repeating myself on you guys. Okay, I think we're good. So let's go ahead and click on my website. I want to go there and just show you what it would look like. So when you guys go back and you're creating content for your website, or you send it off to your web developer to create this content, or you go to Postlets and you're doing this, this is exactly what you need to have. Property address, boom, number one. So I can get, that's my keywords, my property address. And my text again, boom, I have my property address again, so that's number two. With your keywords need to be about 3% of your content. So it's very little of what your content is, but that's about 3% of what your entire post actually is. Okay? If you have too much, Google's going to flag you as a spammer, and you'll actually be negatively indexed in Google. Okay? They will not show you results because they want Google. You have to keep in mind is the king at providing great content to its users. Okay? So if the users don't like the results they're getting from Google, they're not going to search on Google anymore. So Google does a very good job of monitoring who gets top placement and who does not. And they want good content creators, original content creators. They don't want duplicate content. Okay, they want everything to look original and be in good standing. Okay, like I said, here's everything on there again. There's my video. Want a private tour? There's my call to action. Boom. Okay, just real quick, would you guys like to see what our video looks like? Okay. I'm going to open up iMovie real quick because if I load it on there, it's going to take far too long.
Where's this page on? What did you pay this
I built, if you guys want to be like me and be a copycat, that's fine. I've used GoDaddy as my hosting company, and WordPress is the platform that I'm building on. Okay. Now WordPress is a blog. Okay, so don't let that term scare you, because you've seen my website right now, and does it look like a blog? Not really. It looks like a complete usable website. And really the way I explain it is consider your website with all the benefits and benefits of Facebook combined. Okay, the thing with an old website, and this is a different topic, but with traditional websites, nobody can engage with your content. Okay, they can either call you, email you, or contact you through your website. That's it. The nice thing with a blog is you're actually creating a community. People can share your content. They can write comments to your comment. You can do a lot more with it. People can become much more involved with your website. And you can have different people on there, and that's what you want. The more people that have access to write, or not really access, but more people that are writing to your website through Facebook or through Twitter, which you can do, the more Google likes that. Because now they're saying, hey, this guy's creating great content, and he's actually creating a buzz with people in his area about this. So we're going to send more traffic to him because there's more social engagement with his website. And more you're going to see, and even if you already haven't, Bing is using all the data from Facebook as part of their search results. So if you go to Bing and you're logged into Facebook and you type in restaurants in downtown LA, and one of your best friends recommended a restaurant in downtown LA, that's going to be one of the top search results that you'll see, because Bing is saying, hey, if you guys are best friends, or friends on Facebook for that matter, that is probably a better search result than what we can actually pull up from based on the information posted on the internet. And it's probably very true for most of us, because if I needed work to get done on my car, and Lilia had a great mechanic that she recommended, I would probably go to that mechanic with no questions asked, give him the keys, and say, Lilia highly recommended you. I'm just going to go with you. Just like us in real estate, someone you sell a house to recommends a friend to you, they're probably not going to ask you too many questions. They're going to think very highly of you because their best friend or whoever just bought a house with you. So search results are going the exact same way, and it just makes sense. Okay, and really the internet's going to become a huge referral network. It's going to take some time for these changes to really take effect, but you'll see it over the next few years as it starts rolling out more and more. Okay, so real quick I'll show you a property that we've just done. And I'll turn up my sound on here, and hopefully you on the webinar can see this as well. I keep missing one. Oh, here it is. Okay, you can still hear me. Great. Okay, I'm going to play this video for you guys just so you can get a cool little feed off of it. I get to take a picture of this property. This is for another agent of ours. You guys are going to get the hint, showing the number over and over again, pointing out key features. That's basically what you want to do. Take pictures of at least 2 of each room. An agent of ours took that one and I made it for them. But you know, that's basically what you want to do. Show 2 shots of each room. Have your phone number consistently throughout the video. If you don't, they're not going to be able to contact you. Okay, so just keep that in mind. I keep doing that. Perfect. Okay, so there's still on there. Now let's go back to my presentation. Okay. Sorry, got kind of lost there for a second. There we go. Okay, so I won't show you exactly how to create this on WordPress, but I will go over to Postlets, and that's what most of you will probably be doing, just for now. So Postlets.com, you can make a free account. Okay, you don't have to pay for it at all. The only thing about it is you're going to have ads displayed on your property profile page. Okay, and I'll show you exactly kind of what that looks. So let's see if I click on View It. So this is what it will look like. You'll have your name, Excellence Real Estate. For more information, call. All the information about the property. You'll be able to upload photos directly into the system, and you'll be able to actually add a video to it as well. I don't have it for this one because I don't really use it. So if I go back to my Postlets, and we'll go to Edit, okay. So it's going to have all your information in here, and what you'll be able to do as you're making the video, it'll say Additional Links. Click on Edit. And as you're going through this, you'll already be on the screen, but since I'm just kind of backtracking just a little bit, it'll say Embed Video. So that's what we want to do. We want to embed our video into this page. So now you're going to come back over to YouTube. You're going to go on your Video Manager, click on the video that you would like to see. Okay, just go ahead and pause it. You're going to want to click on Share. Then it'll say Embed. Okay? And now you have to make sure that you're putting the video in the format that it wants. So click on this, and you're going to want the format width of 576. Nice thing about YouTube is you simply type in width of 576 and it'll automatically format the height, okay? So as long as the width is there, it's automatically going to make sense for the height, okay? Always use the old embed code. It just it loads a little bit better, okay? Unless it requires the new version. We'll find that out right now. So copy this embed code. We're good with that? We're not lost? Okay? Simply copy that. Come back over here. Paste it. We're going to update that now. And let's go back to view this property now. See if it actually posted that video in there. Maybe I have to put the other version. So let's click on the iframe version. Get that again. I don't know why it's not populating the video onto here. Let me go back and try this one more time. Sorry guys, I've never done it on Postlet. Oh, YouTube is different. So 560, 349. So sorry, it's 560 by 349 is the video size that they want. Sorry about that. And that's probably why it's not populating. No, still not populating. Okay, so I don't know what the fix is for that. It should be coming out. Not it. Oops, did I just close that whole thing out? God dang it. Today is the day of mistakes for me. Sorry, guys. Okay, so well, I'll figure that out and I'll email you guys the solution for that. Otherwise, you can put a link back to YouTube, but you don't really want to do that. So any questions? I finished actually a little bit before ahead of schedule than what I thought I was going to do. Any questions on the webinar or any questions here? Let's answer them now so that we can you guys can leave fully aware of what's going to happen with this. Yes.
So you can have a website if you don't have a website, and then the WordPress part is just mostly for the blog, right?
No, okay, the question's asked if WordPress, or not really a question, more of a comment, but you want to, if you don't have a website, you can go to WordPress.com and create your own free blog through WordPress. You can put content, you can add video, you can add pictures, you can do everything to it. The only thing you really can't do to it is change the domain name. It'll be daria.wordpress.com. Okay, so that's the difference of what it's going to be. You also will not be allowed to fully change everything with it. Okay, it's limited to what you can do. That's why I recommend getting your own server, because you can do whatever you want to it. Okay, you're not limited as to what you can do. Okay, just that's what I recommend doing. If you guys want, I'll get a WordPress class out for next month. It's very simple to actually do it. I mean, it really is that simple. I mean, I can't explain it any easier, but WordPress is a very simple tool to use, and that's where everything is going. Okay, it's kind of like if 5 years ago we weren't using email or we weren't using our website, but jumping 5 years into the future now, we wouldn't live a day without email. We cry if our BlackBerry or iPhone's down because we can't get our emails. And people that are crushing it online with marketing are taking all the leads because a lot of people don't want to do it, or they're not getting a simple website to be able to capture these potential buyers. And it's quite simple. Why wouldn't you do it? I mean, everyone goes to the internet to find everything. And the studies are out year after year now for the past 3 years that over 90% for 3 years in a row of all home buyers start their search online. So it's kind of, excuse me, but it's a little crazy that we're not utilizing the web for this when there's all these free tools that are available out there to be able to capture this. And yes, it does take your time, but anything that makes money for you is going to take your time. So you have to invest a little bit of it to get something out of it. Okay. So question on here from Herschel Sklar. Somebody's asking for a date on here. Okay, so Kathy Goldman, I think it is more important to have a WordPress blog website than a regular website these days. You're absolutely correct. And it's the key value of being able to share content, people being able to engage with your content. And I'll show you a real quick example of what it looks like when people can share and how easy it is. Because the nice thing about WordPress is you don't have to know coding or any of this stuff. Okay, everything's copy and paste or install. So just for instance, let's see. I know somebody wrote a comment on one of these. Okay, I have a comment on this one. So I'll view this post. So I made a blog about Bank of America short sale systems changing again. If you don't know, you can go in here and read the article about the new B of A procedures. But like this down here, you simply install it. It's like adding a program to your computer. You download, install it, and it's automatically done. You don't have to set up anything. You don't have to know any coding. It's already done for you. So to get all these nice icons and to get that simple animation, it's already pre-done for you. All you have to do is install it. How simple is that? It's kind of like putting an app on your phone. Is that hard? No, right? You just go to iTunes and select it. Same thing with WordPress. You go to the version of iTunes for WordPress, download the app, install it on your website, and it's all set to go. And it really is as simple as installing an app on your phone. Okay. Now, what I said about being able to comment is, for some reason their picture wasn't loaded on here correctly, but they wrote a comment directly to my website from their Facebook account. So now I have engagement. It's not just me adding value to my website. It's somebody else adding value to my website. And it could be speculation or whatever it is, but they're adding more value to it. And then down here at the bottom, you can see the reactions. People, I got a retweet on Twitter from Aaron Sanchez. He retweeted my comments. And now I'm having social engagement from Facebook. I'm having social engagement on Twitter. This gives you the opportunity for your content to go viral, right? And you can't get that with a real traditional website. I mean, you can, but it requires much more money, and it requires somebody actually doing the work for you versus this. It's already all done. How simple is that? And realistically with WordPress, there's only, off topic, but I'll let you know, there's only 2 plugins I've ever paid for WordPress. And one of them is this plugin right here. Okay, and that's called List Eruption. And on my WordPress class, I'll talk a little bit about that. And also another one that's a pop-up. So usually what it'll do is if they try to X on the screen, or it might be set on a timer, there's a bunch of different variations of the way I have it. But basically, it's a lead capture form for me. If people go to my website and they're on my website for any given amount of time, or it might be set to if they try to X on the screen, it'll say, "Hey, we noticed that you're trying to leave our website. Would you like to receive our special updates and offers? Blah blah blah." Yes.
Okay, now I see a lot of this stuff. So where do you actually get it from? Like you're saying, you pay for that. Where do you buy this kind of stuff?
If you want, come to the WordPress seminar. I'll share it with you. You can find when you get your WordPress site. It's called now I forget. Let me log in. I'll show you real quick.
And is it exclusive to the WordPress one, or can you plug it into?
Mostly everything is built just for WordPress right now. I mean, there's other platforms available. There's Joomla. There's also Drupal, but WordPress is the most powerful, most robust on the market right now. It's kind of like Twitter versus Facebook. WordPress is the Facebook right now for websites. Drupal or all these other ones, they're similar, but it's just not the main kahuna. Okay, and you want to build on the most widely used platform versus something that's not the most widely used. So what they're going to call it on here, they're not called apps, they're called plugins. So you can go to plugins, or right here, just go and click on Add New. And on my class, I give you all the plugins that you'll want to use, but you can search for them right here in the store. So you can just put iTunes. Just say you want to find plugins for iTunes. Search plugins. And then it's going to give you the feedback of all the different iTunes plugins that are available. And you can go to details, read about it, read the reviews on it. If it's compatible with your version of WordPress, install it. And then if there's a fee, it'll tell you, hey, you need to pay for it. And you pay for it not through WordPress. You'll be paying for it directly with that manufacturer. Okay. The two I bought ran me $50 each, so I spent $100 on it. I mean, not one-time fee. Yeah, it's really a no-brainer. I mean, you tell someone to build your website, it's going to cost you a few $1,000s, and it's going to cost you a few $100s for every update. That's why I recommend everyone doing this, because you spend maybe $200 just say getting everything you want for it the way you want it to work, and it's only going to cost you $5 a month and a little bit of your time to maintain it. You know, it's much more cost-effective. You know, we're already doing Facebook like it was our website. Might as well start building our website like it's our website. You know. So
for some of us who are having our website done currently, should we ask them what the platform it's on?
What do you can, yes. Actually, I would recommend doing that. Unless you're telling them to build on WordPress, they're probably not building on it. They're probably building a traditional website where it's a lot of coding. I mean, I know it, but it takes a lot much more work. And to do these simple things is, I mean, you have to know coding. I can't explain it. It's just a lot much more work. And they're probably building it on that type of platform, so you have to contact them for any changes. Hey, I want to add this page to my website. Sure, $300. You know, so if you do have somebody build it, I mean, I used to do it. I don't do it anymore, so please don't contact me to build your website. But I actually charge $2,000 to build websites still on WordPress, but I would build websites that are about 80 to 100 pages in depth. I mean, very well-built, content-drilled websites, and it's set to go. I mean, as soon as it's like buying a flip house. You know, you just turn the key and you move right in. That's the type of website I was building for these clients, for these people. That's what you want. If you have a web developer doing it for you, that's what you want them to do. And if they're doing it that far, I would say $2,000 is a reasonable price for a very well-built website. And you want it based on a geographic location. Okay, so if you're building a website, you want it, and you're focusing on Downey, focus on the Downey area. Talk about schools in the Downey area, hospitals, you know, favorite places to eat, like Portos is a big one, how they're rebuilding that little section of Downey. You know, talk about all those little things. Cause you want people, you want listings, you want buyers, and if people figure out from your website you're the expert for the area, regardless if you are or not, as long as your website proves it to them that you have all this wonderful knowledge, they're probably going to contact you to buy or list their property in that city. It only makes sense, right? I mean, if you're looking for anything and a website that you go to and you keep going back to for all the information regarding schools, hospitals, everything about it, why wouldn't you buy or list your property with them? Because they know everything about the area, you know? It just makes perfect sense. So, Kathy Goldman, when is your next webinar for WordPress? That'll be published at the end of the month for July. So I'll have the WordPress seminar out for July. So any other questions?
So I just want to understand, so if you have the WordPress, you don't need the post-its.
Yes. Okay. The question was asked, if you have the WordPress, you don't need postlets. That is correct. If you have your own website, whatever you're using, you don't need postlets. That was just a crutch if you didn't have your own. So you can have something on the internet that people can find you by. Because you don't want people finding you through YouTube or through Facebook. You want them finding you on your own content. Okay, because the biggest thing is if they're on your own website, like I'll go back to my website. Internet's a little bit slow today, probably because of the webinar. Okay, anyways, it's not going to load quick enough. But okay, anywhere they click on my website, they're on my website. If they're on Facebook, they're one click away from viewing somebody else's profile. If they're on YouTube, they're on one click away from viewing somebody else's video. You want 100% of their attention span. You know, if you went on a listing appointment, you want to be on a listing appointment with 10 other agents. You want their time, right? That's the same focus, okay? So any other questions? We have about 10 minutes. We're finishing a little bit early. If not, I'll shut down the webinar and do some one-on-one with you guys. But we have 10 minutes left for the webinar if you guys have any questions. Yes?
Is Blogger the same thing as WordPress? I see something called Blogger, and just because I do some writing where I was going, and it looks like you just kind of put it all together, but it still looks good.
Yeah, you can use Blogger. There's Tumblr. There's all kinds of different free ones out there.
Are they the same thing, or does it do
They're similar. They're similar. It's, you know, it's like buying a Mercedes or buying a Honda. It's still a car, but one's going to have more features than the other, more benefits.
Blogger would be the opposite. Blogger would be WordPress.
They're similar. They'd be Blogger, Tumblr, WordPress, Drupal, Joomla. They're all very similar in the way they do things, but WordPress is going to give you the most bang for your buck. It's like, you know, iTunes for the iPhone. There's more apps for the iPhones than there are for any Androids. It's just facts. iTunes has been around for 10 years. Android's only been around for 2 or 3. So that's what you want to build for the most commonly used platform versus the most uncommonly used platform. So don't try and reinvent the wheel. Just go with the flow. All right, so Kathy, you can forward a domain to the free websites, can't you? Yes, okay, so the question was asked, can you forward a domain, your own private domain to these free websites? Yes, you can. One thing that you cannot do is you cannot change the CNAME record. Now, this is a little technical, but when you buy a domain name, you're not buying the www, you're buying the yourdomainname.com. So yes, if they type in yourdomainname.com and you're forwarding it to that address, yes, you can change it, but you're not going to be able to do it if they type in www.yourdomainname.com. It won't show. Okay, so you have to actually be the owner of the website in order for those changes to take effect. So bottom line, if you don't have any startup funds, use WordPress.com. It's free. Use that to start. Once you do get some cash flow going, you're going to go contact GoDaddy and set everything up with them. You'll actually be able to import everything from your WordPress.com into your own privately hosted WordPress site with GoDaddy. It'll still be on WordPress. It's just hosted with GoDaddy.
And that would be your own domain.
It'll be your own domain. It'll be your own server. So if you do it through WordPress.com right now, you're using WordPress as server. So you don't own the content. You're just the creator. You put it on your own server. You own it. You create it. It's 100% yours. I mean, nobody can take it down without your permission, basically. No, the actual server.
The actual content.
Yeah, you're paying for a computer to be online 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, displaying your information. That's basically what you're paying for. I mean, there's other things, but it's privately hosted. It's like, okay, consider it maybe like this. If you go lease a car, you can't really do any changes to it. What you get is what you get. You buy a car, you can change the rims, you can tint the windows, or you can do anything to it. Consider it something more like that. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay, sort of. Your server is your physical like address of where your information is stored. So if you're using WordPress.com, and I know this is confusing, they're saving all your information on their server. If you go to GoDaddy and buy your own server and use WordPress as the platform to build on, it's still using WordPress, but it's your own server.
Renting it.
You own it, but you're paying for that space. Yeah. It's less than $5 a month, but I just say $5 a month, just to round it off. Yeah. Makes it easier for everyone. Okay. So any other questions? Okay, answered that one. Okay. No more? We're good? All right. So how many of you are going to be able to go shoot a listing virtual tour today and get it on YouTube by next week? Everyone. That's great. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. Another thing you guys can do if you don't have listings is contact other agents to see if they'll allow you to do it. Chances are most of them will, because it only helps them better sell their listing. And if you ask me, you can use mine any time of day. I don't care. Okay. If you want to sell my house, go ahead. I don't care. It's only going to help me get an escrow quicker. So That's what I recommend doing. The easiest ones to be able to get access to do those for is investors, because they don't want to hold in their properties. They want to sell them as quickly as possible. Whether it's another agent or their listing agent, they have no preference. They're trying to close. So those are your easiest ones to find. So how do you find those? Well, you're all agents. Go on the MLS and look up flips. Easiest way to do it. Contact the listing agent on there. They're most of the time working in cahoots with the investor, and they're not getting really paid anything. They're probably the investor themselves as a listing agent. Contact them and say, hey, I want to advertise your property. Share a virtual tour for it for me to be able to get buyers. And in turn, I'll be able to help sell your listing as well. Would you mind if I do that? I would guarantee 90% of them are going to say, go ahead and do it. I know if it was my property, I would want it sold. I don't care who sells it. Any investors in here? None? Okay. Well, if you find them, ask them. They're not going to have any issues with it. Most of them. All right. So I'm going to shut down the webinar. Then, anyone on the webinar have any last questions? You got 5 seconds before I shut down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So I'm going to shut down the webinar. Thank you all for coming. I'll answer any questions that you guys have afterwards. And thanks again for coming out to the webinar, guys.
Thank you.